Welcome to Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj's I Am That. Today we will be looking at chapter 60. And chapter 60 is Live Facts, Not Fancies. Live facts. What is true? What is a fact? Not fancies. You say that whatever you see is yourself. You also admit that you see the world as we see it. Here is today's newspaper with all the horrors going on. Since the world is yourself, how can you explain such misbehavior? Which world do you have in mind? Our common world in which we live. Are you sure we live in the same world? I do not mean nature, the sea and the land, plants and animals. They are not the problem, nor the endless space, the infinite time, the inexhaustible power. Do not be misled by my eating and smoking, reading and talking. My mind is not here. My life is not here. Your world of desires and their fulfillments, of fears and their escapes, is definitely not my world. I do not even perceive it, except through what you tell me about it. It is your private dream world, and my only reaction to it is to ask you to stop dreaming. Stop dreaming. Papaji often said, just stop. Stop seeking. Stop struggling. Stop the mind. Stop paying attention to the mind. Just stop. Listen. Watch. Surely wars and revolutions are not dreams. Sick mothers and starving children are not dreams. Wealth, ill-gotten and misused, is not a dream. What else? A dream cannot be shared, nor can the waking state. All the three states of waking, dreaming, and sleeping are subjective, personal, intimate. They all happen to and are contained within the little bubble in consciousness called I. The real world lies beyond the self. Self or no self, facts are real. Of course, facts are real. I live among them. But you live with fancies, not with facts. Facts never clash. While your life and world are full of contradictions, contradiction is the mark of the self. Of the false. Contradiction is the mark of the false. The real never contradicts itself. For instance, you complain that people are abjectly poor, yet you do not share your riches with them. You mind the war next door, but you hardly give it a thought when it is in some far-off country. The shifting fortunes of your ego determine your values. I think, I want, I must, are made into absolutes. Nevertheless, the evil is real, not more real than you are. Evil is in the wrong approach to problems, created by misunderstanding and misuse. It is a vicious circle. Can the circle be broken? A false circle need not be broken. It is enough to see it as it is, non-existent. A false circle need not be broken. It is enough to see it as it is, non-existent. It is enough to see this world as a dream, as a movie, as a story. Once you realize it's a movie, there's no need for the movie to end. or to change. By knowing it's a movie, you're already, in a sense, out of the movie. But real enough to make us submit to and inflict indignities and atrocities. Insanity is universal. Insanity is universal. Osho used to say, mind is crazy, world is crazy. Sanity is rare. Sanity is rare. Yet there is hope, because the moment we perceive our insanity, we are on the way to sanity. This is the function of the Guru, to make us see the madness of our daily living. Life makes you conscious, but the teacher makes you aware. Life makes you conscious, but the teacher makes you aware. This reminds me of what Stephen Levine once said: we become loving by watching how unloving we are. We become loving by watching how unloving we are, how unkind we can be, how unkind the mind can be. So the same thing here. There is hope, because the moment we perceive our insanity, we are on the way to sanity. If we can see the madness, see the crazy, then that is a step towards sane living, sane seeing, clear seeing. No longer living in the monkey mind, no longer living in the imagination and the craziness that can happen in the mind. Sir, you are neither the first nor the last. Since immemorial times, people were breaking into reality, yet how little it affected our lives. The Ramas and the Krishnas, the Buddhas and the Christs have come and gone, and we are as we are, and we are as we were, wallowing in sweat and tears. What have the great ones done, whose lives we witnessed? What have you done, sir, to alleviate the world's thrall? You alone can undo the evil you have created. You alone can undo the evil you have created. Your own callous selfishness is at the root of it. Put first your own house in order, and you will see that your work is done. The men of wisdom and love who came before us did set themselves right, often at a tremendous cost. What was the outcome? A shooting star, however bright, does not make the night less dark. To judge them and their work, you must become one of them. A frog in a well knows nothing about the birds in the sky. A frog in a well knows nothing about the birds in the sky. Do you mean to say that between good and evil there is no wall? There is no wall, because there is no good and no evil. There is no good and no evil. In every concrete situation, there is only the necessary and the unnecessary. The needful is right. The needless is wrong. Who decides? The situation decides. Every situation is a challenge which demands the right response. When the response is right, the challenge is met and the problem ceases. If the response is wrong, the challenge is not met and the problems remain unsolved. Your unsolved problems, that is what constitutes your karma. Solve them rightly and be free. You seem to drive me always back into myself. Is there no objective solution to the world's problems? The world's problems were created by numberless people like you, each full of his own desires and fears. Who can free you of your past, personal and social, except yourself? And how will you do it unless you see the urgent need of your being first free of cravings born of illusion? How can you truly help as long as you need help yourself? Okay. Why does not goodness prevail? It does. In my world, even what you call evil is the servant of the good and therefore necessary. In my world, even what you call evil is the servant of the good and therefore necessary. It is like boils and fevers that clear the body of impurities. Disease is painful, even dangerous, but if dealt with rightly, it heals. Disease is painful, even dangerous, but if dealt with rightly, it heals or kills. In some cases, death is the best cure. In some cases, death is the best cure. A life may be worse than death, which is but rarely an unpleasant experience, whatever the appearance is. Therefore, pity the living, never the dead. This problem of things, good and evil in themselves, does not exist in my world. The needful is good, and the needless is evil. In your world, the pleasant is good, and the painful is evil. What is necessary? To grow is necessary. To outgrow is necessary. To leave behind the good for the sake of the better is necessary. To what end? The end is in the beginning. You end where you start, in the absolute. I remember this quote now. I used to quote Nisargadatta a long time ago, years ago. I loved this quote: to leave behind the good for the sake of the better is necessary. Because many times along this path, we feel good, right? Life is comfortable. Things are good. Everything becomes manageable. Like, I can do this. I can manage this. This is okay. But we don't want to settle for just good. Sometimes we need to leave behind the good for the sake of the better. And that's difficult. It's very easy to let go of the bad. In fact, we let go of it like a hot potato. We run from the bad. Where's the good? I'm looking for the good. But when you have a good life, and this is the problem with being addicted, sounds strong, but if you're very addicted, if you have a really good, pleasant, comfortable life, what's the motivation for growing, for self-realization? If you're living in a little pseudo heaven, right, then why would you want to let go of the self? Why would you like to go beyond? But Nisargadatta says to grow is necessary. That is the meaning and purpose of consciousness, is to grow and expand and experience other states of dimension. And of course, to realize yourself, to realize what you are not the imaginary self, and to realize what you are, the absolute supreme reality, the Parabrahman. That is the goal. So to grow, expand, love and serve, to leave behind the good for the sake of the better. Don't get stuck. Don't hold to any little cul-de-sac. Just keep going, keep letting go, keep expanding. Okay. I think I will end there. Thank you, Nisargadatta Maharaj. Thank you, everybody. See you again for another chapter of I Am That.